Hi guys, a man who has proved time and time again that a human can function without a brain, Lee Anderson, attacked asylum seekers and the idea of letting them work while their claim is processed. Now, people who put in a claim for asylum generally are not allowed to engage in paid employment, but it does seem that in some cases they can, but the conditions are that they must take up work in a sector that is on the shortage occupation list and that they are paid at just 80% of the going rate. And Lee Anderson isn't too happy about this. Have a listen.
And people are very angry about it. I'm not happy about it. I don't think anybody who arrives here illegally should be given permission to work. I think we should be swiftly removed.
Ivan Sampson, presumably you disagree with Lee Anderson on that. You think that asylum seekers should have the right to work?
Well, the language is important, first of all. Lee said these people are masquerading as asylum seekers. So if you look at the actual facts and the figures, the majority of people coming across on the boats are granted refugee status. Fact.
Why don't they claim refugee status in France? If it's a safe country.
That's another issue, but I was
it's not. It's the same issue.
Correcting what you were saying.
These people are masquerading as asylum seekers. They are not genuine asylum seekers. If you've passed through 6 safe countries to get to this country, I'm sorry, you are not a genuine asylum seeker. You would stop in the first country of refuge and claim asylum there. It's making a mockery of our system, Martin.
The Home Office grants them asylum, and they apply the Refugee Convention, Lee, which is the law.
Yeah.
Regarding the right to work, many countries do the same. The US, for example, allows refugees to work from day one.
Why don't they stop in France?
I can't answer that question. I can only tell you...
I can answer it. It's because they're not genuine asylum seekers. France is not at war. They're not being persecuted in France. France is a safe country. France is a welcoming country. We keep hearing people bleating on that France accept more than this country. Why don't they stop in France?
With due respect, you're talking nonsense, because...
Of course he's talking nonsense. We're talking about Lee Anderson here. Now, Anderson at the beginning said that these were people arriving illegally. They're not arriving legally. It's not illegal to cross the channel and put in an asylum claim. And was pointed out as well to Lee Anderson is that a majority of the cases are successful. So you can't say that the people are masquerading as asylum seekers if the Home Office has deemed them legitimate. The vast majority, 70%. So you can't say that they're all masquerading. Even a majority of them are masquerading. They're not. If the Home Office has deemed them legitimate. Like, Lee Anderson hasn't looked at their files. Lee Anderson hasn't processed the claims and come to the conclusion that these people are masquerading as asylum seekers. And secondly, the other point about France. Why don't they stay in France? Because there's no obligation on them to stay in France, Lee. I don't know why the asylum lawyer didn't reply with that. It's quite simple. There's no obligation under UN conventions for people to claim asylum in the first safe country. Now, why are people leaving France to come to Britain? Because they have connections in Britain. They speak the language. They have friends, family there. That's why they're trying to get to Britain. That's why they don't want to stay in France. Just imagine for a moment if there was some dramatic situation, and Lee Anderson had to flee the United Kingdom. Where would he go? Would he go to a country where he spoke the language, he had friends, family, or would he just go to some random country? No, he would go, even if the country was safe, he would go to a place that he felt even more safe, where he spoke the language, where he had friends, family, some sort of connection. He's not going to, and if he was blocked from getting there, he would continue to try to get to that country, I would imagine. So that's why people don't stay in France. Now, the majority of asylum seekers who arrive in France stay in France. A small percentage go on to the United Kingdom. But what Lee Anderson and the likes of GB News want to present is this idea that everyone is trying to get to Britain, when it's clearly not the case. And that they're, by crossing the channel in a rummer dinghy or in a boat, they are crossing in illegally. This is not true either. Under UN conventions, people are allowed to make an asylum claim in the country, and it doesn't matter how they got there. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.